this is Joji. Today is Sunday, March 25, 2018. I'm recording again from our country house. I keep calling this house our summer house because it's the first year we have owned this place. So far we used to come to this area only for summer vacations. We used to rent a house until a couple of years ago we decided to go ahead and invest in a house of our own. So this year we actually own the house, so we can come whenever we want, and we ended up coming here almost every weekend. So now it's not summer anymore, and I'm used to calling it the summer house, but I suppose I should find a new name for this house, so maybe I will call it the country house instead. It's a lot chillier than it has been. So March 21st marks the beginning of the autumn here, and you can clearly see that the leaves are changing, the weather's changing, even though it never gets really cold in Buenos Aires. Well, we definitely have 4 different seasons, and we enjoy them, and I'm happy that it's getting colder so that I can knit more comfortably and not need the air conditioner all the time. So I'm going to show you a couple of short videos that I made this morning because since it's the first year we own this house, we haven't yet spent any time doing any gardening. We basically just planted the grass, the lawn, and we're just taking care of that, but we haven't really inspected any of the plants that the house had. Everything was in really bad shape. So Charlie and I went to the plant shop yesterday and we bought some plants that we want to plant in the front of our house. And also I wanted to show you a beautiful tree that it's in the back of the house. So our house is right next to the golf course here in this neighborhood, and when I came here I noticed that we face a group of trees, and within those trees there's one called liquidambar. I think that's the name in English, but I'm not 100% sure. And anyway, this is a very beautiful tree, and the leaves of this tree change from green to yellow and then they fall. So this weekend is the first time that I saw the leaves of the liquidambar starting to turn red. And so I wanted to show you what fall looks like here. It's really green, everything's really green yet, but I thought it would be nice for you to see what my indication for fall is. So here they go. This is the back of my house. We are just next to the golf course. I don't play golf yet. And this is the liquidambar that I've been telling you about. You can see how the leaves that face the sun, I suppose, the most, are turning already red. Fall has arrived slowly. This is me. So as you can see, it's really peaceful over here. It's really quiet compared to where we spend the week in the city. And yeah, I feel very, very blessed that we can come and enjoy our weekends in such a beautiful place. Also, I wanted to thank you, everyone who sent a message a couple of days ago. I wasn't feeling my best. I was having one of those blue days with no particular reason. I know that I don't have any real problems, but sometimes I feel like I get blue, and then the smallest things just trigger all the emotions on me. So I was having one of those days, a bit sad, and I made an Instagram story about that, and many of you reached out and sent hugs. So I wanted to thank those, and everything was okay. I didn't have any real problems. I was just having one of those really, really sad days. Yeah, my boys and my husband took me shopping and everything was all right. We bought some plants and some things for the house, and sometimes retail therapy really, really does wonders for women. I don't know why it is, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. And other than that, it's been a really quiet week. I've been knitting a lot, not so much writing this week. I sent a couple of patterns out for test knit. I'm test knitting a lot of patterns at the same time right now. So my brain is trying to juggle all of those together at the same time. It's becoming a bit hard this week to catch up with all my test knitters who are very, very quick. But yeah, that's good. Anyway, I've been knitting really nice things. I think I showed you most of them on Instagram, but here they go. Okay, so this is the beginning of the wrap I am making with the yarn. If I go like this, it's all blown out. So I'm gonna hold it here. This is the beginning of the wrap I am making with the yarn I showed you last week from Lorna's Laces. I told you that they created this colorway especially for me. It's gray with some purple undertones and some black, not speckles, but I kind of think they are like strokes of black, and I think they show really well here. Let's see if I can, hold on. I'm going to, I think that's going to be better. Yes. So you can see all the strokes of black here. That's so much better to show you my knitting. Yeah, I'm super pleased with the yarn. This is the first time I have used this base. It's called Shepherd's Sock, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it feels really, really beautiful. I think this yarn would be absolutely perfect for socks too. It feels very sturdy, but at the same time it has like a silky sheen. And yeah, I'm super, super enjoying it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, I started the bottom of the wrap with lace all across it, but now I'm starting to make less repeats of the lace design as I make progress. And I think I'm going to do 2 pieces, and then I'm going to graph them together in the center just to make it symmetrical, but I'm not yet completely decided. I would have to figure out a cool way to seam it so that it's really invisible. Another alternative is to just make it in a one direction, which is also very cool. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to be like, but so far I think I'm really pleased with it. And yes, so that's one thing. This design should be ready for you in June, and I think it's going well, so that's one thing that I'm working on. And then I'm also working on my cardigan, kimono, jacket. I had shown you this much last week, but yeah, so now the bag is ready. This is the upper bag, and then I also started a little bit of the front. It's now on hold. I don't know if you can see it yet, but I think it's too early to show you. But I wanted to do a really cool fold for the neck. So you transition from horizontal garter stitch here in the back neck to vertical garter stitch here on the front. And this is requiring attention because since garter stitch tends to be shorter than stockinette stitch, which tends to be longer, I'm trying to do some short rows within the front band so that the front bands won't pull vertically. So it's not as mindless as you would expect, but it's just because I need to write those instructions while I'm working on it. It should be really easy to knit if you're just reading the instructions. So we'll see. I'm really enjoying this yarn. I know I've said it a million times, but I think I will keep saying it every time. This is Walk Collection Bliss. It's 100% superfine merino, and the colorway is stained brass. And I just love the way this colorway is knitting up. I was watching one of my favorite podcasts. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. It's Skein Podcast, and the host is Kristen, the dyer behind Skein. And I just find her really sweet. I like to hear what she's working on and how she creates new colors, and she comes up with color inspiration. And she also is a great knitter, and she always has very beautiful knits to show. I'm gonna add a link to her podcast in the notes. And well, she was saying that she has been coming back to her tonal colors or multicolor colorways, which I don't know. I don't think they are old-fashioned, because nothing is really old in our short knitting experience. But I definitely can see how some of these multicolor colorways were a bit left behind, because all of these new speckled yarns flooded the market. And of course I love them and they're amazing, but I really enjoy also working with multicolors and tonal colorways. So I was very happy when I realized how this yarn was knitting up, because it's not variegated. It's really all the colors are all mixed up. It's not a hand-painted yarn, but it definitely has this tonal effect that I that I recognize in, for example, Missoni knits, and I really admire the ability to work with those colorways. So anyway, I'm really excited to be working with some tonals, and I think I should go back to my stash and revisit some of those yarns that have been there for a long time, like for example Malabrigo colorways, which are also this watercolor effect. Yeah, so that's been really, really fresh. For some reason, bringing back the old feels like something new. And yes, so my ideas are not that organized today, but you always say that you understand what I want to say. So I hope this is the case too. I had to stop the video because I started talking again and I was still not making any sense. So what I wanted to tell you is that I'm already knitting for Interpretations Book 6. I know it sounds crazy. We have just put out Book 5, but since each book takes a lot of knitting time, Peter and I both contribute 6 designs for each of these books. That means that I have been planning and knitting for Interpretation 6 already, and I can't show you that piece of knitting, sadly, but that's also been taking some of my knitting time during the week. I'm really excited about this upcoming book. I don't want to tell you a lot because I don't want to steal the attention from our recently published Book 5, but I'm already excited about the next one. We'll be shooting it in Barcelona when we go there in November, so it's going to be a nice time also taking those photos. So that's another project that I'm working on. And last, I'm working on a new pair of socks. Let's see. So last weekend we had the birthday party for my niece, and I brought the socks that I had made for her, the Judy Yasemin socks, and she really, really, really liked them. And it was really cute because she opened the bag where the socks were, and she slowly opened the package, and when she saw them, she looked at me and she said, "You made them, you promised them, and you made them." So I was really, really happy that I had actually kept my word about knitting her a pair of socks, and she was really happy. She didn't feel like trying them on, and I haven't heard how they fit, but at least she was happy when she opened the package. And anyway, we were going to go to her birthday party, and I had just finished the knitting that I was working on, that brown texture shawl, and I was knitting on the green sweater, but I was up to the point where I had to join for the front and work all the short rows for the neck shaping, and I knew that I couldn't bring that to the party. It was just a bit difficult to keep track of, so I realized I didn't have any easy projects. Oh, my easy project at the time was the JoJo hat by Jody Brown, which is now on Ravelry, and thank you all who left a comment on my sample. I was really, really proud to test that for her. And anyway, so I had finished my JoJo hat, and I didn't have any easy projects, and my husband was, let's go, it's time, we need to go. And I knew that I wanted to start some socks, but I didn't have any yarn wound up. So I remembered that my good friend Roxana had gifted me 2 skeins of these Knit Picks Felici, and of course it's ready for you to start knitting. So I took these 2 skeins with me. I grabbed quickly a pair of needles, or a circular needle, and I started a new pair of socks. This is it. I'm really, really enjoying this yarn. So this is, I think it's discontinued because, well, you probably know because you're expert sock knitters probably, but I really suck at keeping track of what's trending and what's selling or not. But I thought, oh my god, this yarn is really cool, and I went to Knit Picks website to see if I could purchase some, and it turns out that they didn't have it anymore. So I'm guessing that they have discontinued it. So I'm really sad. But anyway, this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and these are 50-gram balls. So you need 2 of them to create a pair of socks. And my colorway, okay, so I don't know if this is the colorway or not. It could be mosaic, or that could be a description of the yarn. Otherwise, this is what I have. This is the information I have on the colorway. It's funny because one time I was doing a live Instagram video on the marketplace for the Hill Country Weavers Retreat, and I was showing everybody the yarn, and so I was picking up yarns and I was telling them what the brand was and what the colorway was. And I remember picking up one skein, and I think it was Yarn Carnival, the brand, and I couldn't find the colorway name. So I read somewhere like here, I read Care, and I said, oh, the colorway name is Care. And I even thought like, oh, what a sweet name for a colorway, Care, because it's so kind and loving. And so I thought, oh, that's a cool name. I should make a pattern called Care. And then I realized it wasn't the colorway name. It was just the care instructions. And I felt really silly. And I even said that on that video. Anyway, I don't want to say that mosaic is the colorway, because now I never know what the colorway name is, but anyway, I don't think you can get it in any case. So I finished my first sock. This is it. And this is how much yarn I have left. I think I could have made them a bit longer, but I'm good with this length. I'm debating gifting this to my brother for his birthday. I need to try them on to see if they would fit him. So I am a size European 40 for shoes, or women's 9 US, and my brother is probably a 41 and a half. So I'm a very big woman for an Argentine standards, and he's a rather smaller man. We're about the same size, which is fun, my brother and I. And yeah, so that's everything that I have been knitting on. Sorry. I haven't finished any projects, and I don't have any yarn ready to cast on because all my projects are quite new. I might finish these socks and start new pair, but I don't think I'll be using any specific pattern if I start a new pair of socks, or maybe I do. Okay, before finishing, I wanted to mention the pattern that I'm featuring today. It's a very special pattern for me, and I get very emotional every time I talk about this project of mine. But yeah, I wanted to feature it today because I'm about to send a new donation for them, so I wanted to tell you about this project. Last year, I was talking to my friend Claudia, and she manages 2 kindergarten schools, a nursery and kindergarten school, here in the outskirts of Buenos Aires, in a really poor area. And well, I have known about her work for a long time, and she asked me whether I would like to work or to create something to help her cause. And I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before. I have helped many causes with my patterns so far. We have done a lot of charity work, but none of these charities was specific to children or people in need here in my country. And I thought, of course, this is what I have to do this year. And so every end of the year, I like to do some kind of charity. And last year, I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do this year. So I created a pattern especially for this cause. It's called All the Love, and you probably saw the photos at the beginning of this journal. And what I decided was that all the sales from all the profits of this pattern, so the 100% of whatever I collect from your purchases, is going to be donated to these kindergartens forever. So there's no ending date for this offer, because I know that I can reach this kindergarten very easily. I can send a donation without any problems. I know the people who receive the money that I collect, what they do, where they work, and I can always go and see how things are working for them and what they need. So the pattern did incredibly well. It was very touching and overwhelming. And during the first days that we sold this pattern, we collected over $6,000, which were donated in December. So last December, I sent a donation of $6,800 to this kindergarten. And I just checked, and so far this year we have collected another $4,700 that I will be sending out next week. So that's $11,000 that we have collected together, which is amazing and absolutely overwhelming, and I have no words, but I wanted to tell you what this money was used for, because I know many of you purchased this pattern, even if you are not going to knit it, or even if it wasn't your style. So I talked to my friend Claudia last week, and she sent me some images that I'm going to add at the end of this journal. And yes, so the money here is very needed. It's worth a lot more than you would think. So it was enough to do a lot of work at the schools. They changed the floors for the classrooms where the babies and kids are. So now they have new, cleaner floors and brighter classrooms. Also, they could afford to buy special lamps that they need for the ceilings. So my friend was telling me that they need to use security lamps that have these special acrylic covers, so that if anything happens to the light bulb, there won't be glass in the floor. So they could finally afford to do that. They bought kitchen cooking games or kitchen sets for the girls and boys to play, and they still have some of the money that we sent last year and that they haven't used, and of course they are welcoming the new donation. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what we can do when we join forces. There are a lot of really poor people in Argentina, and any help is very, very welcome and appreciated. So when I was not having a really good day on Thursday, my friend sent me these videos, and yeah, it just made it really, really the best day ever. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is the sweater that I'm talking to you about. It's a bit wrinkled, but it's a very special project for me. So forever, 100% of whatever I make of this pattern, it's going to go to these children. So thank you. And yeah, that's it for today's journal, and I hope to see you next week. Thanks, bye.
Y a las 3. ¡Gracias, Joji!